want to make it clear to Nigerians that what is actually happening in the East is caused by the government of the day, the government of General Muhammad Buhari.
Nigeria is currently ravaged by unprecedented wave of security challenges ranging from terrorism, banditry, kidnapping, killing and robbery, amongst others. In the last couple of months, life has been hell for residents of the southeast region, following upsurge of attacks, killings and kidnappings by unknown gunmen. Any hope that the continuous bloodshed in the southeast will diminish soon seems to be vanishing, as sophisticatedly armed non-state actors whose real identity still is subject of debate attack citizens and security agents and formations frequently in the region. The current killings, arson, vandalism, and economic sabotage purportedly being carried out by unknown gunmen add no benefit of value to the ordinary people of the region. The killings are undefined as they affect the masses, the influential, and even monarchs. Acts carried out by these unknown gunmen have jeopardized the interest of the common man, as their activities have inflicted unquantifiable economic hardships on the masses. The constant unrest has grossly affected many people who survive on daily income within the region. The questions in the minds of many Nigerians are: who are these unknown gunmen? What are their agitations? Why haven't the government clamped down on their activities? Numerous claims, allegations, and conspiracy theories have been raised to unravel the real identities and power brokers behind the Southeast insecurity menace. Security operatives oftentimes link members of the indigenous people of Biafra and the security wing, Eastern Security Network, as these unknown gunmen. However, these groups have constantly denied being involved in the unrest in this region. They, however, accuse security operatives of importing mercenaries to Igbo land to maim, kill, and kidnap people to justify labeling them terrorists and also launching attacks to suppress their agitations for Biafra. Speaking with a legal practitioner, Barrister Sonny Anyanwu, who has lost some relatives to this barbaric act in the eastern region, described what is happening in the southeast as pathetic.
What is happening in the east is a pathetic one and mind-boggling. Everyday killing. I've never heard of such a situation since I was born. But I want to make it clear to Nigerians that what is actually happening in the East is caused by the government of the day, the government of General Muhammad Buhari, who is hatred on the Igbos.
Mr. Anyanwu noted that the unrest in the eastern states started when the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu, was arrested, adding that the continued detention of Nnamdi Kanu is a major factor causing the unrest in the eastern part of the country.
The continuous detention of Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB leader, it is another major factor that is causing these unwanted killings in the east. The miscreants have hijacked the motive, what the struggle Nnamdi Kanu represents. Now you have other groups, sort of name, ESN, this, that, many. And now using it now to rob people, kill people, rape our women, do a lot of things. So, continuous detaining Nnamdi Kanu is a major factor.
He further stated that if Mr. Kanu is released from detention, it can help quench the unrest in the region.
If Buhari can release Nnamdi Kanu, I can assure you everything will come to an end. Because we'll be able to marshal out, okay, if you are doing any struggle for who? Is it for Nnamdi Kanu? They will not know, okay, Nnamdi Kanu is not being detained. Who are you struggling for now?
Security agencies have linked these unknown gunmen to IPOB members. The legal practitioner, however, described these unknown gunmen as miscreants hiding under the name of the IPOB leader, Nnamdi Kanu, to cause mayhem.
IPOB does not kill. From the beginning, I want to make it clear to Nigerians that IPOB stands for justice. the struggle by Nnamdi Kanu, IPOB, stands for justice. People usually like to rob, do all sorts of things in the name of Nnamdi Kanu, which is not true. It is not. They do not represent Nnamdi Kanu, as far as I'm concerned.
He urged the unknown gunmen to stop the killings as they are crippling the economy of the region.
I wish those people doing it, they can hear me now and stop it. We are killing, the economy of the Igbo is suffering. No, people now sit at home Mondays and other days. The people now, the farmer and the other people cannot go for their daily bread. And the government of the day is not doing anything for them. So we are killing ourselves if we continue this struggle.
Mr. Kabiru Mohammed, a security expert, speaking on the insecurity in the eastern region, said it is possible that it is politically motivated.
Like everything in Nigeria, I believe there are different angles to it. It's possible there is a political element. If you recall, a couple of months ago, actually last year, around June, July, Mr. President Buhari did indicate that there is a weaponization of security in the country, and that weaponization is aimed at achieving certain objectives. Now, I also believe that there are certain political elements that have incentivized, and I'm using that word carefully, the violence in the southeast to achieve a political objective.
He noted that the unrest might be surrounded by the grievances of the eastern people of not being politically included or empowered.
There is a grievance in the southeast. That grievance is around empowerment at the national level, where the southeast believe has not been politically included in, especially when it comes to the presidency. Number two, there is a grievance around economic empowerment, the poverty levels. There is a grievance based on the structural dimensions within Nigeria. Southeast is the only region with five states. Now, it's very easy to use those grievances to incentivize the kind of violence that we're seeing.
The security expert also noted that part of the grievances might be the detention of the IPOB leader.
But beyond that, there are several other factors that are at play. One of them is the issue of the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. He's still in detention. His trial is delayed, and that is providing the atmosphere for whatever is happening in the southeast. I believe that a better approach that would have led to a speedy justice for him would have probably reduced the circumstances, especially the reasons why those who use political incentive to weaponize the violence. The other one is even the inability of governors in the southeast to deliver on their promises around infrastructure, promises around empowerment for both, everybody, actually, genders, men and women. And then we must also talk about the small arms and light weapons in circulation. No matter how these groups want to create the kind of violence, if those weapons are not in circulation, they won't be able to. Then drug addiction is another one. And then the collapse of the traditional peace resolution mechanisms that used to exist in Nigeria as a whole. If those traditional peace building mechanisms had been active and in existence, perhaps some of what we're seeing at the moment we won't be seeing, because they would have been able to identify who it is and addressed it before it reaches the stage side.
He also pointed out the failure of security agencies, adding that if they had arrested and charged these culprits when it all began, instead of killing them outrightly, this could have reduced the level of unrest in the eastern region.
The failure of the security agencies, especially their contributions to the criminal justice system, to identify offenders and to punish those offenders. If when this thing had started, they have been able to arrest and prosecute in a very transparent manner, perhaps the incentive for others to join would have reduced. Right now, they are not doing that.
The security expert noted that if the court processes involving the IPOB leader is transparent, it would help ease the unrest.
If the process is transparent and Nigerians generally see it as a process where the court decision, verdict, was not in any way interfered with politically, then I believe it would help.
Reacting to the denial by IPOB members of being involved in these attacks, Mr. Kabiru said IPOB provided the environment for the unrest.
And I know that one of the simplest mechanisms for avoiding responsibility is to deny. However, whether IPOB is responsible or not, I can conclude based on the intelligence available to me, IPOB has provided the room and the environment for what is happening at the moment. The hate messaging, but particularly its detained leader. He was very specific in terms of spreading hate messages at the time. He was very specific in encouraging attacks. So whether they are responsible at the moment or not, the root of all of this can be traced to that hate messaging.
Speaking on how this menace can be curbed, the security experts suggested that the government should implement the National Counter-Terrorism Strategy.
We have two laws that are very important. As it stands today, I don't know about tomorrow, as it stands today, IPOB is banned in Nigeria and it's a terrorist group. So the government should apply the provisions of the first National Counter-Terrorism Strategy, which has been in existence since 2006, and then revised again, I think, into 2016. That's number one. Number two, the newly passed Anti-Terrorism Prevention Act, which was passed this year, I think just 2 weeks ago. Those two laws or strategies should be implemented fully in identifying IPOB members, how they are generating their funding, where they are getting their weapons, who is supporting them, and then making sure that those persons are arrested and prosecuted in a transparent manner and not in the manner that we're seeing where they are shot and killed. Arrest them, present evidence before a competent court of jurisdiction, let them be punished. Anything short of that would further incentivize the violence that we're seeing. As long as they remain a terrorist group, then we should treat them within the limits of what our law says. And our law on terrorism is very clear, the Terrorism Prevention Act. We should use all the powers at our disposal, including diplomatic powers. They have offices across the world. Reach out to those countries, present evidence, tying them to the kind of terrorist activities that are ongoing, and then use all of that to prevent them from generating funding, prevent them from recruiting new members, and from the kind of activities we're seeing at the moment. Of course, this is the same thing I would have said to groups like in the northeast, Jamaat al-Ahlis al-Dawat wal-Jihad, or the Islamic State in West Africa province. We should use the provisions of our law against these groups. We're mollycoddling them, and we should stop. It's not helping us as a country.
Many Nigerians are of the opinion that the activities of these unknown gunmen have deviated from the core principles of self-determination to barbarism, as this approach would only attract more pains and sorrows. Nigerians believe that it is high time the people of the southeast unanimously rose up against those unidentified persons before the whole eastern region is set ablaze.